never slow up, no I don't take shit, I got
knows it. He was around to watch Marco Morelli be so superb off there and blown up and saved him from injury. And these
place just behind Carter Thompson from towards the back of the grid. So this is a great
Herbert Assen, and that's why I think he moved up into 5th place and is now up into 4th place. He doesn't want to see Marco. The Alpine Stars Tech Air suits have 2 canisters, so even after his first fall,
ride for the pair of them. Joel Pons really needs a finish like this, doesn't he?
yeah, and Hakim Danish up into Morelli disappeared, just as you said, Matt.
Well then, up the hill.
He can get up, the thing will self-deflate, ride again, and it will go off a 15th as they cross the line that time, so he has 1 point at the moment. Un point.
We come once again, then it's going to be left and flick it right down the waterfall. How far?
Time if he falls off again, which of course he's just done. He won't reinflate the 3rd time.
Very nearly nil point.
Yeah.
Unfortunately for Hakim, real shots can you go through here? Well, look at that. Look at the gap forming. I mean, Morelli's not hanging around. I'll be very interested to see the lap.
Anyway, right, 5 laps to go. It's Brian Uriarte. And not
shame because wow, what a blockbuster of a finish, a real Spielberg thriller we were in this time around.
Now let's see, Uriarte will be late on the brakes here. Quickest laps from those guys this time around. Marco Morelli, David Gonzalez, Mitani has passed.
In for with all 3 of them. We're still in for one in general, but how good would it have been with top 3 in the championship?
Up on that leading trio, so he comes out of the corner. The leading trio still have the advantage. Mark Armour.
Oh, Ramersdorfer and Agostinelli and Singapore all gone. No. All battling out for the top 3 positions in the final part of the race. Still
Morelli over, but it's not green there, so that doesn't matter. Marco Morelli has the advantage.
Down, think must have been at the same corner. That is a disaster for their final. 5 laps to go, a fair way. We'll keep an eye on Dinesh. He's up in a 14th at the moment.
Keandro Fadiva, the man who finished 2nd, who did all the leading yesterday, is in
race of the year. That's not what they would have wanted at all, and wow, they've got.
And it looked to me, Danish did a 1:49. Most of the guys ran to a 2nd place.
These 3 absolutely drilling it now, Peter. They are over a 10. Yes, we are. No. Oh, it's Hakim.
We're going to see Hakim's.
This is Hakim's crash. Down to turn 1 again, Peter.
1:45. So that means it cost him, it cost him 4 seconds, that long lap penalty.
Of a second quicker, maybe even 2 tenths or 3 ahead of everybody else. That last lap of Rita, dearie me. Unfortunately.
Gentle,
got biffed by his bike, and then the other, yeah, it really is. It is a proper penalty, mate. No mistake. That's why you can't take them down, and that is making the difference. We're on board with Uriarte, leading what's now really the chasers. We're looking at Zemitas. Oh, that was a big crash in the middle of the track. That is not what they want, Nick, with the track limits, because it will ruin your race potentially, or in this case, it could potentially ruin your journey. The Japanese rider just behind us, inspired by Kevin Schwantz. That's why he runs the number 34 at all. But unfortunately,
looks like they're
running
all
away from it. Good to see.
Up there. That's all we care about.
Championship.
Side by side, then briefly they are, but Brian is so quick into that.
But look out front, Ramadipa now into the lead ahead of Morelli and Benyat Fernandez.
But Brian Uriarte is about at the end of the day.
Exactly.
Right.
Back to the front. Here we go.
Yeah, Brian Uriarte has the advantage. Right-hander.
Gonzalez has recovered. Gonzalez has recovered. He's in 3rd.
Not letting them go. Look, he's there in 4th place. He's close into them and he's going to lock on to the rear. He's the cup winner. He's the man to beat, and it's Marco Morelli who's trying to do just that.
The place now then. A brilliant move up the inside of car, pushing at the penultimate turn. And he
of the number 7, Benyat Fernandez in 3rd as they go down the hill.
And Ramadipa's lead was short-lived.
Just 3.5 laps
Morelli
remaining.
Looking up the inside. God, had such a great drive through there that he's almost catching up to both Veda and Brian out. But Morelli took him straight back. He's saying, no, I need to lead this race. I've got the pace. I don't want to get in his line. Looking for a potential overtake, thinking better of it. Other riders are off the track. You see the scrapes. Front at 1:44, the first one that we've seen of the race so far then. And it overtaken in towards turn 1. You're following me, but Morelli's smart. He knows he just needs to get out front and absolutely on the asphalt there as that sort of happened. So
Van Kruyten track limits.
is Gonzalez on a mission. Here is Hakim Danish, 14th place at the moment. Go for it. None of this tap in the rear seat unit rubbish.
That's right, but he only qualified 15th. Warning.
Track limits warning. Well, we've had them for Brown, Daniel, Tassini, Coleman. He is closing steadily on the riders in front of him, but I don't.
He was on the 5th row of the grid, so you know if his pace is quicker or than he was running in qualifying.
Pushing as well. Monigliane,
Just 3 laps remaining then. Now
I think it's going to be enough.
no, he's lapping at a very similar pace to the men in front, but of course maybe the bike isn't really set up to do this, but he's a bright, wily rider, and he'll 5 guys. You still can't really have a last lap plan. I've talked about it's got to go quicker. It's almost the same lap time as Uriarte and Pratama in the front.
He can only
Make the best of the situation, certainly. There's the 51 of Brian Uriarte. He'll be late on the brakes at the bottom there. This with Brian Uriarte several times through the year, and he says, you know, you can think about what you might do on the
only hope for some misfortune to befall the 2 title rivals ahead of him, which is always
He goes from 4th to 3rd.
perfect line choice from the 95 and Morelli there.
Past that, but really you've just got to deal with whatever happens, and he says, I just do whatever I can.
He's in the realms of possibility, but they are looking very, very strong out front, both guarding his line well and truly, not sacrificing his run through the penultimate turn into this final corner.
At the time, and of course, you know, that's exactly what happened yesterday. He didn't know coming down the back.
Uriarte and Pratama, they have basically been in the top 3-4 positions the entire round. They come, going to get a big drive up the hill. Mitani goes neck and neck with Ramadipa there. They go
Straight that David Gonzalez was going to outbrake himself, but he was positioned there.
It's the only riders to do so. They are just on another level here. Nearly come to blows out of the final corner. 4 laps to go, Peter. This is where it really changes.
Just to take advantage, and as he said, you know, I was braking super late, and when David went even so, Uriarte. Now this is the opposite, of course, of what happened yesterday, which was
they fan and weave across the start and finish straight in towards turn 1. Uriarte.
Deeper, he thought, well, something's going to happen. He hung back and just nipped inside him to take the win. That was leading all the way, and Brian Uriarte watching what he was doing, where he was going, and
Uriarte goes up the inside. He just makes it stick.
And was absolutely superb stuff.
Brian, the last of the late breakers here as well in towards turn 8.
Making just the right moment on the last lap to pass. Now this time it's Veda who is saying could Mitani do what he did yesterday when he finished 5th.
He guards his line superbly, commanding out front. You can go off track there. That's
Watching Brian to see where the Spaniard is quickest.
Morelli's also recovered then after being completely
After coming off the back of the grid, well, he's already up into 4th place briefly, back to 5th.